as temperatures drop, why we can expect our heating bills to go up significantly higher than years past.
Plus, an overnight crime spree damages dozens of cars on Madison's east side.
And the first snowflakes for some of us today. We'll get a look at your forecast, and if any more is on the way. That's all coming up right now at 10. Thanks for joining us. Heating your home during a Wisconsin winter is never cheap, but this year, as temperatures go down, expect that energy bill to go way up.
McKenna Alexander joins us now to share how much more Wisconsinites will be paying and what you can do to lower those costs. McKenna?
Yeah, for the second year in a row, Americans will see their winter energy bill go up an average of 35%. And here in Wisconsin, we're seeing similar numbers, meaning for many homeowners, this winter will be an expensive one. Across the nation, first-time applications for low-income home energy assistance are up 60% as the National Energy Assistance Directors Association forecast the highest winter heating costs in a decade.
So for many Americans, the cost of home heating will become unaffordable this winter.
With a 17% increase over last year's energy costs, Wisconsinites that heat with natural gas can expect to see the highest increase of more than 34% this season. If you use electric heat, the increase won't be as drastic, but still costly, with an average hike of 7%. Officials with Wisconsin Public Service say those increases, compared to last winter, equate to about $20 to $30 more per month. They explain heightened demand and the conflict in Ukraine are the two main factors causing this increase.
Russia's invasion into Ukraine, and that has caused some European countries to limit or stop using natural gas that's exported by Russia. And again, that has also caused worldwide natural gas prices to rise.
The good news is that there are a few ways to prepare for those higher heating costs this winter. That includes getting furnaces inspected, cleaning out furnace filters, and making sure the house is properly sealed and insulated.
Looking around your home, seeing if there's any gaps or cracks around your windows or your doors, and use caulk or weather stripping to seal those up. That will keep the warm air inside your house prevented from leaking outside and causing your furnace to run more often.
Finally, if you expect to have trouble paying your bill in full each month, Cullen suggests reaching out to your energy provider to see if payment plans are available. There are also several assistance programs that can help households in need this winter. Just visit energyandhousing.wi.gov for more information.
McKenna, thank you. The National Weather Service has confirmed 3 more tornadoes touched down in Wisconsin last week. That brings the total now to 7. The weak tornadoes touched down in Jefferson County last Wednesday. Watertown, Johnson Creek, and Sullivan all rated EF0, the weakest classification. All 3 packed estimated peak winds 65 miles per hour and were each on the ground for less than a mile. And in Dane County, officials want to update the outdoor siren system. The county has a total of 141 sirens, 79 of which are owned by the county. Today, officials say the system is almost a decade old and hasn't kept up with changing technology. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi has included $3 million in next year's budget intended for that upgrade.
And check this out, the snow has arrived. This is video from West Bend today as parts of the state see its first snow of the season. We're also seeing photos and video from counties north of I-94 showing a little bit of light accumulation with a dusting or a few tenths of an inch. In addition, it has been very windy and chilly. Here's a live look over Madison. Let's see what's in store for us overnight. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our certified most accurate forecast.
Well, the winds are still blowing out here, and while skies are cloudy, they're expected to become partly cloudy overnight, and that will allow temperatures to drop pretty quickly. Time-lapse from the WISC-TV Skycam. A couple of little snow showers moved on through, but you can see nothing really stuck to the ground. And as we take a look at Doppler track right now, pretty much most of the snow is in the Lake Superior snow belt across central and eastern upper Michigan. And then you can see some lake effect rain showers mixed in with a little snow into parts of southwestern Michigan and northwestern Indiana. High temperatures today, 41, the best we can do in Madison, 43 in Janesville. Some areas, especially north and east of Madison, were around 40 or even didn't get out of the upper 30s. Current temperatures are now in the middle 30s, but again, the cloud cover has something to do with it. Farther out to the west, notice Decor, Iowa, they're already at 30 because skies have turned partly cloudy there. So across Dane County, we're seeing temperatures mainly in the middle 30s, 34 right now in Belleville, 35 degrees in Waunakee, and 36 in Deerfield. Look for skies to become partly cloudy overnight. It'll be breezy and cold, low temperature dropping to 30 degrees. Looks like we still have another chilly day or two ahead of us, but a big warm-up is on the way for the end of the week. I'll tell you how mild it'll get in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. And next at 10, Madison police are investigating investigating after dozens of car windows were smashed downtown. This was early yesterday morning, causing thousands in damages. The crime spree spanned 8 city blocks between East Washington Avenue and Tenney Park. Police are still looking for a suspect. MPD says it's working under the assumption that the damage wasn't financially motivated.
It seems like this was a pretty random moving trend of damage to property. And so we're investigating. Every victim is receiving that same level of investigation. We're working hard to try to identify the person responsible and hold them to account to those criminal damage to property charges.
Police say the offender's motive is unclear, that just a few inexpensive items were taken from the vehicles, and it didn't appear the offender attempted stealing any of the vehicles. MPD is now combing through doorbell cameras that have been submitted by victims in hopes of identifying a suspect. Witness testimony resumed today in the Darrell Brooks trial, charged in the 2021 Waukesha Christmas parade attack. The state has taken the jury through the path the red SUV took down Main Street, and now prosecutors are presenting what happened after the parade attack that ultimately led to Brooks' arrest. 2 witnesses testified today that Brooks went up to their houses afterwards, asking them to call him an Uber. He was arrested a short while later. The state hoped to wrap up its case today. However, due to interruptions from Brooks, there is more testimony expected.
Breaking tonight in northeastern Wisconsin, police in Green Bay are looking for at least one person of interest in the shooting of a 5-year-old girl. This happened around 5 o'clock today. The child was taken to the hospital, but her condition is not known. Authorities have not released any additional details about the incident, but say they don't believe there is an ongoing threat in the area. A 69-year-old man was hit by a vehicle Saturday night in Mauston and is currently facing life-threatening injuries. This happened on Grayside Avenue near the Maple Drive intersection. Police say he was walking across the street when a vehicle driven by a 61-year-old woman hit him. The driver remained on scene, and police say alcohol or drugs do not appear to be a factor. State officials today reminding drivers to avoid distractions behind the wheel. Today is Wisconsin's 2nd annual Buckle Up Phone Down Day, which aims to show drivers the importance of those 2 simple actions in preventing crashes. So far this year, the Wisconsin DOT says distracted driving has contributed to 31 deaths and nearly 3,000 injuries.
Crisis in Ukraine coverage. Now Russia has launched a new round of attacks on civilian targets in several major Ukrainian cities, including the capital of Kiev. At least 4 deaths were reported. The Kremlin is turning to so-called kamikaze drones as a weapon of choice with devastating effects. Skylar Henry reports.
Ukrainian police worked to shoot down killer drones that struck terror in the nation's besieged capital Monday morning. Despite Russia's repeated claims that it doesn't target civilians, waves of drones loaded with explosives pounded parts of central Kiev. The Iranian-made weapons hit energy facilities and destroyed an apartment building.
And now they've really gone to drones that are much less effective as battlefield weapons, but are effective as aerial terror weapons.
This drone was photographed in the sky seconds before it fired on buildings below. At the Iranian embassy in Kiev, Ukrainians protested against Tehran's sale of the drones to Russia.
The Russian military is suffering from major supply shortages in Ukraine, in large part because of the sanctions and export controls that are being enforced by the United States and its allies.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his military shot down a few dozen drones in this latest wave, while he urged more international help with air and missile defense systems. The so-called unmanned suicide drones used by Russia have become a cost-effective and powerful weapon. Topping 100 miles an hour, they're programmed to hover overhead until they smash into a target and explode on impact. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
And from inside Russia, at least 4 people were killed, 25 others injured when a Russian fighter jet crashed into a 9-story apartment building in the eastern part of the country during a training flight today. Russia's defense ministry says one of the engines started on fire, causing it to crash. The pilots ejected, but their conditions are not known.
Next at 10, the Mississippi River hit an all-time low today in Memphis, Tennessee, and is forecasted to potentially fall even lower. The river currently sits at negative 10.6 1.75 feet. The previous record was back in 1988. The current prediction is that the river will continue to decrease through October 25th. As a result of those low levels, the Army Corps of Engineers is building a levee in the river to protect drinking water. The problem is the combined low levels with rising sea levels. That is causing salt water from the Gulf of Mexico to push up into the river. It will be made from sediment dredged from the river's bottom. It is scheduled to be done in about a week and is considered temporary. Still ahead at 10, a new local beer concoction helping raise money to help keep our waterways clean.
Plus, we'll introduce you to UW-Madison's Button Man in a News 3 Now exclusive. Stay with us.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity, using less or a lot less oral pain medicines, and improved quality of life. That's why we recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
I'm Sheriff Jim Johnson. I'm Sheriff Eric Severson. We've got the real story on Mandela Barnes. Barnes wants to defund our police, but he spent over $600 grand of your money on police protection for himself. Barnes wants to eliminate bail for violent felons, and his administration has already released over 800 criminals, including 44 child rapists. Take it from us. Mandela Barnes policies are a threat to your family.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine when you purchase. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $2,500 loyalty cash. And now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories.
National call centers, they're just not the way to go when you can meet with a trusted and knowledgeable Medicare insurance agent from Informed Choice Insurance Agency. Because nobody knows your local hospitals, doctors, and pharmacies like your local Informed Choice Insurance agent.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
He's not just in the neighborhood. Max Greenfield is here.
If you want to keep going, feel free.
Plus, an incredible performance from Kat.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue looking more like the Pink House. It was lit up with a magenta hue to honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Reducing cancer-related deaths is a key issue for the Biden administration and its Cancer Moonshot initiative. President Biden today announcing the formal launch of the federal application for Americans seeking student loan forgiveness. It's the latest phase of his plan that is expected to provide debt relief to as many as 43 million borrowers. The application form can be filled out at studentaid.gov. It includes information on the debt relief, who qualifies for it, and how it works. It asks applicants for information including their full name, social security number, date of birth, phone number, and an email address. Borrowers have until December 31st to submit an application.
Just weeks after Hurricane Ian destroyed the Fort Myers area of Florida, the life of someone down there could be about to change forever in a very good way. A lottery ticket that sold at a Fort Myers gas station matched all 6 numbers in Friday's Mega Millions drawing. That ticket worth nearly $500 million. But the jackpot likely will be shared since the second winning ticket also was sold. That was out in California. More local news now. Registration now open for this year's Thanksgiving Basket Drive at the Goodman Community Center. The 34th annual drive will provide families in need with the food and fixins to make a full Thanksgiving meal at home this year. Goodman Community Center hopes to distribute a total of 4,000 meals. And check this out. A local brewery and cannabis shop are again partnering up with the Madison Clean Lakes Alliance for a specialty brew using honey from the Honeybee Cannabis Company. Hop House Brewing Company is making up a limited edition honey nut brown ale named Bees Nuts. Money raised will help fund waterway cleanup efforts. The beer will be available on tap at 23 locations and in 16-ounce 4-packs at 30 locations.
Do you know UW-Madison has a button man? Well, you will after traveler Mark Kane's report.
It is homecoming week on the UW-Madison campus, a week steeped in traditions, block parties and pep rallies, pink flamingos, and homecoming buttons. The Wisconsin Alumni Association has produced a homecoming button or pin since homecoming began in 1911. Pete Christensen is a fourth-generation Badger, class of 71 with law degree 77. He was the Alumni Association board president in 2009. He started collecting homecoming buttons in 2002.
Our son was just starting law school, and they had this button, the Badger Power, Flower Power button. And I got to thinking, you know, I wonder how many homecoming buttons are out there, and just sort of took off from there.
Turns out there's a lot of them, 112 in all. Pete has 102. They were paper during World War II, and now they're just stickers, but each one tells a story, a reflection of the times.
African-American alumni, that was from 1990. So there's 2 buttons that year.
Very cool.
And then they've done a couple of unusual ones here. This is there's some of these that were I think colored by children, and there are a couple different ones from that year.
And along the way, Pete has collected other UW-themed buttons and just about anything Bucky he could get his hands on.
People might remember when we went to the hockey games in the late 60s and early 70s and wore these beanies. And
there are pennants, lots of them.
It's a Crazy Legs Hirsch movie poster.
After the war, Elroy Hirsch moved to L.A. and played for the Rams.
Get this thing
he was also a movie star of sorts.
This is one of the movies he starred in. You can see he didn't get the top billing, but
oh yeah,
you know, Elroy crazy Hirsch.
Not even Crazy
Elroy
Legs.
Crazy Hirsch, yeah.
And lots of postcards.
This, I think, was from the homecoming game against Minnesota in 1917.
Thanks to contributions from friends, garage sales, and eBay, Pete has chronicled UW history, especially UW football. He started going to games as a freshman.
My wife and I were freshmen in '67, so 09-1.
Yeah.
Can't get worse. Oh, it did. 68 was 0-10-0. In our 4 years, they were 7-32-1.
And you kept going.
Oh, well, what the hell, you know? It's fun.
They won 7 games in 4 years?
4 years. 7 games in 4 years.
Thankfully, those days are behind us. A Badger through and through, Pete is always on the lookout for those 10 missing buttons. And something tells us he'll have the whole set, all 112, one day.
I mean, I've got hundreds of these, to be honest with you. Once you start, it's like, you know, it's like eating peanuts. You just can't stop.
Traveling in Madison, I'm Mark Kane, News 3 Now.
Okay, so the homecoming buttons Pete is missing are the years 1943, 1944, 1970, 71, 74, and 75, plus 1996, 99, 2000, and 2001.
Somebody's got to have those recent ones, right? So if you have any of those, you know, maybe in your junk drawer someplace, Pete would love to hear from you as soon as possible to complete that collection. On Wisconsin, suddenly, you know, 3-4 record doesn't sound so bad. They won 4 games in 7 years or whatever it was. Gary's here after a blustery, chilly Monday. Has us looking for a warm-up, Gary.
Yeah, by the time homecoming comes around, the weather will not seem like football weather. We should actually have some pretty mild weather this weekend. On Doppler track, a lot of snow showing up. Not heavy snow in most areas, just some flurries, and I think most of it's out of southern Wisconsin. A lot of people saw their first flakes today. lake effect rain showers because temperatures over Lake Michigan are still pretty mild. So it's warm enough to keep rain, but then as you get inland, that changes over to a little bit of light snow in parts of northwestern Indiana. This is all snow up in parts of upper Michigan. In fact, there's still winter storm warnings in effect for central portions of the UP of Michigan and winter weather advisories for central and eastern parts of that state, as well as northern or northwestern portions of lower Michigan, and even downwind from Lake Michigan, parts of southwestern Michigan and northwestern Indiana. Some snow on the ground, perhaps as much as 6 to 9 inches of snow over parts of far northern Wisconsin up near Hurley, and then eastward to just west of Marquette, Michigan, and a little bit more on the way there. 3 things you need to know in our forecast. It'll still be chilly for tomorrow and Wednesday with high temperatures in the 40s, but it'll be dry from tomorrow all the way through the weekend, and then look for high temperatures mid-60s Friday, upper 60s on Saturday, and around 70 degrees by Sunday of next weekend. And the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook calls for above normal temperatures for the eastern part of the country. The colder than normal weather shifts out to the west, but that sets up a little more active storm track, so precipitation expected to be above normal through much of the country. Not dramatically a lot, but still we'll see a little more active weather pattern. And again, that pattern will continue at least for a while longer. Now, as we take a look at the high temperatures today, nowhere near above normal. 30s to around 40 degrees through much of the upper Midwest, even down to the south. 50 for the high in St. Louis. That's pretty chilly. You have to go out in parts of western Nebraska and Kansas before you even saw high temperatures in the 60s. And that northerly wind flow just continues around a stubborn area of low pressure aloft. Over the last few days, it's moved from here to here, so it hasn't moved very quickly, and that will continue to just funnel down the cold air. But eventually, we'll start to see a break in the cold weather for the end of the week. But right now, we're dealing with temperatures that are mainly in the 20s and lower to middle 30s, with wind chills right now in the 20s and teens across the state. Look for skies to be partly sunny for tomorrow. It'll be windy, not quite as cold. High temperature 45 degrees. Planning your day for tomorrow: 45 Pine Bluff, 44 in Oregon, and 44 in Monona with partly sunny skies across the rest of southern Wisconsin. 46 in Lone Rock, 43 in Camp Douglas to the east, 46 in Milwaukee, and 44 degrees in Fond du Lac. 7 to 10-day forecast: mid-40s for Wednesday, low 50s for Thursday, and then mid-60s Friday and around 70 for the weekend. Thunderstorm chances actually from Sunday night into Monday morning, and then temperatures drop back to near normal, highs in the mid-50s by the middle of next week.
And coming up in sports, rough weekend for Wisconsin football all the way around, except a former Badger. We have more on Jake Ferguson's career night coming up after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape or Edge and get 0% financing for 66 months.
The Internet of Things is evolving, creating the Internet of You. And Spectrum, America's leading internet and mobile provider, is bringing you seamless connectivity across all your devices. Introducing Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet with speeds of 300 megabits, advanced Wi-Fi, and Spectrum Mobile Unlimited, all for just $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999. Spectrum Internet delivers speeds up to a gig with over 99.9% network reliability. Advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security and privacy that automatically blocks threats to protect all of your devices. And Spectrum Mobile gives you unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G and the most reliable service coast to coast. Switch now. Call 833-673-4999. At Spectrum, it's not just about connecting things, it's about connecting you. Get it all with Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
My school does active shooter drills every few months. It's terrifying to think about.
Tim Michaels wants to allow teenagers my age to buy AR-15s with no waiting period.
It's a terrible idea.
It's a really bad idea.
And Michaels wants to allow people to bring loaded guns on our school grounds. And that's just not okay.
I don't want guns in my school.
We shouldn't be making things worse.
Tim Michaels is just way too radical.
He's way too divisive.
Tim Michaels is wrong for Wisconsin.
You
protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
You heard the Jingle Man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go!
Shuffling, juggling, and navigating for Jim Leonhard since being named interim head coach 3 weeks ago. That includes players transferring out of the program. So far, the Badgers have had 3 players enter the portal: Deacon Hill, Marcus Allen, Stephon Bracey, plus Logan Brown, who was dismissed from the team last week. And for Leonhard, it's about figuring out who's in and who's out on this team.
We need to know who's in and out, right, and make it clear. Right? If you're a leader, lead, right? If you want to be a huge part of what we got going on here, but you're not a leader, grab on to somebody going the right direction, right? And if you're on the fence or out, let me know, please, right? That's the fastest way to get things rallied and get things calmed down, is knowing who's on your side.
Don't forget to tune into this week's Badger Blueprint. Zach and Jim Polzine will talk about the state of Wisconsin football after another loss. Plus, preview Saturday's game with Purdue. That's Wednesday night during News 3 Now at 10. While the Packers offense couldn't produce much against the Jets, the defense was a different story early on. If you look at the first half of the game, Green Bay's defense forced New York to punt 5 times before the Jets could even get on the board, and that was only a field goal. They held them to those 3 points until midway through the third quarter, where things started to unravel, and that's when the Jets had those drives where they scored back-to-back touchdowns.
There's so much competitive balance in this league, and you can only expect a defense to hold on for so long before the offense is going to hit you on something. The bottom line is we had to do more from an offensive perspective. I don't think our defense should be in that situation. Now, once they did get a little bit of momentum, that's where we have to be better and try to do whatever we got to do to refocus the group.
Well, hey, here's a bright spot for the state of Wisconsin football. Jake Ferguson scoring his first career touchdown in the Cowboys' primetime matchup last night. The former Badger took it to the end zone early fourth quarter to cut into the Eagles' lead. Cowboys, they couldn't get it done, but Ferguson finished the night with 4 receptions for 40 yards, both of those career highs. Since transferring to Wisconsin, Sarah Franklin has been a force to be reckoned with. And after helping the Badgers take care of 2 conference opponents this weekend, she's getting rewarded. Franklin is this week's Big Ten Player of the Week. After 20 kills on Friday night against Iowa, Franklin recorded her 4th double-double this season yesterday with 16 kills and 11 digs against Michigan. She currently leads the team, averaging almost 4 kills per set. This honor is the first of her career. Caroline Harvey just racking up the honors. For the 2nd time this season, she's been named the WCHA Rookie of the Week. Saturday, she scored the game-winning overtime goal to help the Badgers sweep the Huskies. The Badgers still sit 5th in the rankings as they get ready to host Bemidji State this week. Puck drops Thursday night at 7. We'll be right back.
Yeah, both teams.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Lean back and save at the Century House. Right now, buy stressless recliners, sofas, or office chairs and get up to $1,500 credit towards the purchase of more. Or save $400 on stressless signature-based recliners and ottomans and motorized classic power recliners. Don't wait. Take the opportunity to fill your home with stressless comfort for less. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Join us at the Madison Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Visit and get inspired for your 2023 building and remodeling projects. Go to MadisonParadeOfHomes.com and purchase your tickets today.
Dad's arthritis. He needs extra help around the house. So I called a Grace. Yes, a Grace. With their agent home service, he can stay at home.
That's where I want to spend these months. With hospice care from a Grace, I can stay home with my dog and my grandkids and their laughter.
I had no idea laughter could be a part of my life again after Joe died. But through a Grace, I found hope and healing.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Dear 2029, we look forward to seeing you. After our 160-point quality assurance inspections, we'll be Toyota certified used vehicles with 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranties. Not to honk our own horns, but the best new cars make the best used cars. Yours, Toyota.
To learn more about Toyota certified used vehicles, see your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at toyotacertified.com. Toyota, let's go places.
My school does active shooter drills every few months.
It's terrifying to think about.
Tim Michaels wants to allow teenagers my age to buy AR-15s with no waiting period.
It's a terrible idea.
It's a really bad idea.
And Michaels wants to allow people to bring loaded guns on our school grounds. And that's just not okay.
I don't want guns in my school.
We shouldn't be making things worse.
Tim Michaels is just way too radical.
He's way too divisive.
Tim Michaels is wrong for Wisconsin.
At Stanton Optical, you get great value on eye care, including contacts. Right now, get a 1-year supply of AccuView Oasis and an eye exam for only $189. Scan now to book your eye exam. Yay, technology.
Reality Check, Wednesdays on News 3 Now at 6. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, your four-legged friend can join in Thanksgiving festivities this year. My dog does every year. I don't know why it is. Busch Beer debuting a limited edition dog brew for the upcoming winter holiday season. The drink, of course, non-alcoholic. Among the ingredients, turkey, sweet potatoes, turmeric, and ginger. 4 packs cost $15 and can be purchased on Busch's website. In 2020, Busch released a different dog brew that officials say sold out within a day. You see the dogs just passed out on the couch after some Thanksgiving beer?
You know, I bought Joe one of those drink well things, you know, the little drinking
Put some beer in it for Joe.
No.
He needs a beer on Thanksgiving.
It's non-alcoholic. It's all good.
No, he'll go for the water is good enough for that drink well. It's cold out there. Probably would freeze if I put it outside.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
And do something good. Have a great night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.